Hey y'all, it's Bailey with Reclaim Grace. I'm so happy you clicked on this video. I have several spring inspired thrift flip projects for y'all today that I hope you enjoy. And I have another before and after furniture makeover. Y'all let me know which one is your favorite, and we're going to get started right now. I hope everyone is doing well today. Our first project, we're going to be using this reclaimed board that my mama brought me. I love the white chippy paint on this. We're going to start by measuring two pieces of wood at 24 inches. This is going to become the front and back piece to our 24-inch tall birdhouse. I'm going to measure the center of that board and then take a carpenter square and make the 45-degree angle marks, and then I'm going to use my miter saw to cut the marks we just made. Here is how those two pieces look whenever we are finished. Now I'm going to take my measuring tape and measure to the shortest point and cut two more boards at 21 inches long. I'm going to figure out what size nails I want to use, and now we're going to start attaching our wood pieces together. Just going to use some wood glue and my brad nailer. What's really going to hold this piece is that wood glue. Wood glue is a really strong, and it will make this piece last a long time. So I would definitely encourage you to use the wood glue, not just nails. I'm just going to work my way around, adding my pieces one by one until we get to this point. Now I'm going to use a scrap piece of that same board and figure out the size and overhang of my roof piece. Add wood glue and a few brad nails on each of those boards. Then I will just do the exact same process for the other roof piece, except overlapping that top board. This, of course, does not have to be perfect. We're going for rustic, 100% rustic for this project. So now you can see those fresh cuts on the end of my wood, and I don't want that, so we're going to grunge them up a bit by just adding a little bit of wax to that raw wood area and then some Dixie Belle dust on top of that wax. I think the wax helps that dust stick and stay more permanently, but you can also just rub the dust into that wood grain and it will darken it up some. But adding the wax really deepens that Dixie Belle dust. I'm going to take a chip brush and get rid of any loose dust, and look how well that blends in. Now I have made 3 marks, and I'm going to use this paddle bit on my impact, and I'm going to line the mark up with that center tip. Hold on for dear life, and we're going to eat this wood away with this drill bit and create a little bird hole. I'm going to do 3 holes total. Now we're going to add our bird perches. I've had these 3 pieces sitting in my stash. I like to save pieces like this for projects just like this. So there are 3 different pieces, 3 different sizes. That doesn't matter. They're all going to look great. I'm going to attach it with some Titebond Quick and Thick. I'm going to let this glue sit for a couple hours, and these will be up there for life. That's all for this project. I love how it came out. I made this one for my mama, so I will not be selling it, but if I did, I would probably sell it for around $50. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this rustic tall birdhouse.
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who hurt.
Our next project are these wooden clogs. I had for sale in my booth for $14.95, and they haven't sold and been in there a while, so I brought them home and figured I would spring them up a bit. I'm going to create some jute hangers for the back of them so they can be hung on the wall, just by creating a little loop and stapling that to the back of the clog. Now, this is a super easy project, and I figured I would include it. Maybe it would give y'all some ideas. Now, I'm going to take some floral foam and some hot glue and attach 2 pieces of floral foam, one in each clog. Then I'm going to take a metal straight edge and chop off a little bit of that floral foam before we add our moss to hide it. I'm just going to use hot glue and some fluffy moss to hide the floral foam and to fill in any gaps. Then we're just going to add some florals. I have a piece from Hobby Lobby that came off of a garland. I love picking up my florals for 40% off when Hobby Lobby has that sale every other week. I'm just going to add this bigger stem and a little succulent I've had in my stash. I believe this came from Walmart a couple of years ago. And that's really it for these. I priced them for $19.95. Y'all let me know what y'all think about these. I definitely feel like it's an improvement. Our next project is another birdhouse. This looks like it was a tissue box, but it would look great with some greenery stuck in that hole instead. I'm going to clean up this roof line using some white paint. My mama painted this piece and she got some of the black on the white area. That's not a big deal. I'm just going to freshen it up, and then we're going to be adding a paint inlay. We are going to be using this gorgeous paint inlay from the new Spring Melanie. This has to be my favorite one released this spring. I'm going to take and with my fingernail make an impression of that roof line so I will know where to cut, and then just use some scissors to cut that traced line. I'm going to do that same process to figure out the size I need to cut my inlays to on all 4 sides. Then we are actually going to be using a flat clear coat by Dixie Belle to add our inlays to. So I'm just going to apply a kind of thickish but even layer of the clear coat. I'm going to miss the paint side of my inlay, and then I have to scoot it under that roof line a little bit, and then I'm going to press the paint side of the inlay into that wet clear coat. I'm then going to remist the top of my inlay, and I always just grab a blue shop towel to get rid of any excess water and just kind of pat it dry. Then I like to come in, because I am a very, very impatient crafter, I like to come in and go ahead and dry my paint inlay. This does not affect the results of the inlay, in my opinion, and it takes about 60 seconds. Keep that heat gun moving though. Don't hold it in one place for too long. This is what it looks like when it's dry. We're going to remist that inlay, get off any excess water. This will give it a few seconds to reactivate those paper fibers, and then we're just going to peel the inlay off very slowly. This is in real time. I'm going to set that used inlay to the side and let it dry, because it can be reused again. It will be more distressed, but you can use it again. And once it's dry, I like to take a pencil on the back side and just write second use, so I know for a fact that I've used it before. That has messed me up in the past. I'm just going to continue the inlay process on all 4 sides of the birdhouse, and this is coming out so cute. I created a hole on this birdhouse with another one of those paddle bits, just a smaller size than we used in the first birdhouse. I'm going to add a chippy knob to the front of it with some super glue for our bird perch. I sprayed a clear sealer on the entire birdhouse, and this project is done. This is my mom's, but if I was to price it, I would price it for $19.95. What do y'all think about this cute birdhouse? This is my favorite project in today's video. I thrifted this gorgeous large frame for $5. Yes, it was a steal. I cut a piece of 1/4 inch plywood to fit in the back, and I'm going to give this a base coat of some white paint. This is Parchment by Fusion. I'm just going to give our backing one nice coat. While I'm painting this backing piece, I just wanted to give y'all an update. I'm in the process, research phase really, of creating a website to sell some of my small thrift flip makeovers, my Iron Orchid Design products, and my JRV rice and decoupage paper. This is super exciting for me, and I appreciate y'all's support so much. I've had several of y'all ask me if you could buy things for me. So just wanted to update y'all there. Super excited, and let's get back to this thrift flip makeover. I'm now going to take that same parchment paint and paint this fabric area that is on the inner part of our frame. This is kind of like a built-in mat, I guess. I don't know, but it's old looking and dirty looking, so I want to freshen this up. I'm going to take a pointed tip paintbrush and just take my time here to cut in that white paint. If I get any on the gold frame, I can just come in with a baby wipe to wipe that off. Now, here is the star of the show. Y'all know I'm obsessed with swans. This is another canvas from Temu. I'm using Mod Podge to decoupage this canvas onto our 1/4 inch piece backing board. It takes a lot of Mod Podge to get these thicker canvas to stick, so I just pour it on the surface, spread it out in a thick but even layer. Then I will flip my canvas over and gradually start pressing the canvas onto our back piece using my hands at first, and then once I get it stuck, I'm going to go over the entire surface with a brayer. I have ordered a whole bunch of these canvases from Temu. I am pretty obsessed with them, and they are selling like hotcakes. So I'm going to keep on doing it until the people are no longer buying. I'm going to now come in and seal the top of my canvas with that same Mod Podge in a crosshatch motion. This will make it mimic a oil painting. I gave that plenty of time to dry, and now I'm going to add my backing piece into my frame, and then I'm going to take a sharp X-Acto knife to trim off the excess canvas on both edges. Next, I'm going to come in and secure that backing with my staple gun, making one end of the staple go into the frame and the other end go into the piece of plywood. I'm just checking there to make sure it didn't shoot through on the other side before I continue. I added several staples to secure that, and now I'm going to take a piece of this contractor's paper that I have cut off a larger roll, and I'm just going to use hot glue to attach it to clean up that back area. The last step is just to add a hanger to the back of this area, and this project is done. This is my favorite. I absolutely wanted to keep this piece for myself, but I priced it for $99 and it sold within an hour. What do y'all think about this gorgeous frame and swan photo? I wanted to let y'all know that I have a Reclaim Grace business Facebook page that I would love for y'all to go follow. You see a lot of pictures and just behind the scenes of having a retail booth space. I would love for y'all to give me a follow over there. So now we're going to move on to our next project, are these oval frames. One is plastic and the other is like a resin material. We're going to give them a good clean and get rid of all the stickers and price tags. I paid $2 for the one on the left, and I think $1.19 for the one on the right. I'm going to take the backings out of both of them, and now I'm going to come in with a base layer of black velvet DIY paint. This is just a muted black color that I really enjoy. I'm going to go ahead and give both of these oval frames just one coat of this black velvet paint. Now, a new to me product. This is Metallic Bronze by Fusion. It is a gorgeous bronze color paint. I want to give it a good stir, and then we are going to be painting both of these frames to make them look like vintage old gold frames. I'm using a JRV stencil brush to paint this, and I really like the effect it gave me by dabbing and kind of heavily dry brushing on top of the black paint. This metallic paint had really, really great coverage. So far, I'm loving this product. I have always used Paint Couture metallic paints, but this one is a very good alternative. I'm going to go ahead and do that same paint technique, kind of dry brushing and dabbing the paint on to the other frame as well. Next, I'm going to come in with some Fusion Agent Wax just to dull the shine a little bit from the gold and add just a little bit of age. I'm going to wipe and dab the excess wax off. And now I'm coming in to create some artwork for one of the oval frames, just using a piece of homemade paper and the Wild Blowman New transfer book. I know I'm saying that wrong, y'all, but I tried. Now I'm just going to pick a transfer out of there and transfer this to the homemade paper. I like to rub all over at first and then pick an edge and start pulling and rubbing at the same time. And it transfers perfectly to that homemade paper. Next, I'm going to grab the oval glass piece and add a gorgeous little dainty flower design to the glass. And this stuck like a dream. It always sticks perfectly to smooth surfaces. I buffed that in, attached everything back together, and these gorgeous oval artwork pieces are done. I priced them for $14.95 a piece. What do y'all think about these? Here is another before and after furniture makeover. Furniture has been selling pretty fast for me here recently, probably because it's tax season. This had a crackle finish on it. It was plastic coated wood, I believe, so you could not get or sand down to any bare wood. It had black velvet lined drawers, cute little tiny drawer hardware on the top 6 drawers that I loved and I'm definitely going to keep. So with the top, I decided to do a faux wood finish using a wood graining tool and some glaze. I did the same technique for the bottom. I painted the body of the dresser this gorgeous green. This is Carriage House by Fusion. Added rub and buff to the hardware, and this piece is done. I priced it for $199 and it has not sold yet. I will let y'all know when it does sell. What do y'all think about this before and after furniture makeover? Here's a quick shot of cute little Roscoe, and I appreciate y'all for spending your time with me today. Make sure to hit that like button, comment down below, and consider subscribing if you have not already. Thanks so much, friends. I'll talk to y'all in the comments.